All right, what's good, guys? We got our front porch sweet tea. We're gonna light this up here, set the vibe. It's currently 4:45 in the morning, and I'm just getting off work. This is taking a really long time to light. There we go. Just to set the mood. Oof, look at that. It smells so good. I want to start doing this, making videos anytime I can, really. Just start pumping them out because I have a lot to say and I feel like I have a ton of knowledge. And doing these videos, it makes me hold myself accountable, because I can't write a prescription and not take it myself, you know? So, today's video is about being comfortable in discomfort. Because if you're trying to achieve anything in life, anything substantial, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. And it does not stop. You don't get reprieve, really. You might get it moment to moment, but really, that's not a time to take your foot off the gas. That's just a time to appreciate the moment and soak it up, because sometimes I'll even find myself getting to a point where if I get too comfortable, I'm like, oh no, like this is not going to be good, because I know there's going to be some discomfort right around the corner, but eventually you continue to put yourself in uncomfortable positions that you start to take pride in it. You start to take pride in your ability to withstand that discomfort. And it doesn't take long, man, once you understand the nature of time and how non-linear it is. We think it's like one day after the next, but really it's quantum, in that everything is connected simultaneously. That's why 6 months ahead feels like forever, but 6 months behind feels like yesterday. All these moments are happening simultaneously. Anyways, that's all like metaphysical, but the whole purpose of this is like, if you're looking for a way out, occasionally I'll download Reddit and I'll scroll just to check in, and adulting is one of the subreddits that pop up, and I see constantly people posting who are like, I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of working all the time, of having to take care of all my chores, all my responsibilities, having all these bills to pay. It's like, it doesn't stop, brother. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. But the more that you do, the more that you iterate, you make mistakes, you fail, you stand back up, you get stronger. You get better at handling these things. And it's very important, especially as a young man, if you can kind of program yourself to get some level of satisfaction or enjoyment out of this, over overcoming these things or not letting them phase you. That's a superpower, like truly. I forget whose quote this was, but it's like, moving from failure to failure without losing not ambition, without losing hope or enthusiasm, is the definition of success. I don't know if Einstein said that or who that was, but I'll have to look that up. But that's it, man. Failure is inevitable if you're trying to do anything substantial in life. It's going to be cringy. It's going to look bad. I'm in my kitchen, I don't have proper lighting or whatever, but that doesn't matter. I'm getting the reps in. That's all that truly matters. Imperfect action. A good plan today is worth more than a perfect plan tomorrow. It's a good plan executed today is worth more than a perfect plan tomorrow. And you just got to keep telling yourself that, man. You got to have faith in the future that it's all going to work out. That's the only thing that'll sustain you. love of the game, and the game being life. And getting comfortable in that discomfort. Stop complaining all the time. You know, all you got to do is look outside to see someone who's got it worse, and that'll shut you up pretty quick. You know, it's so easy. You know, I just moved into a new apartment. I got to set up my bed. I've got laundry to fold. I've got dishes to clean. I got my full-time job to work. I've got volunteering. I got to hit the gym. All these different demands. I still got to eat, cook my meal, shower, you know. And it's so easy for me to fall in this headspace of woe is me, this sucks. But recently I've been getting into this routine where, okay, the night before I go to sleep, I at least write down, you know, the few things that I've got to achieve. They can be as small as anything. The smallest step forward is progress. You know, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, whatever. If you get to the point where you got to write that down, no sweat. It's all good. Once you start doing those things, you get the check mark or you cross it out, and that's progress in your brain. That's actually reinforcing your character. It's building testosterone, actually, because you're reinforcing to yourself that you have things to get done and you do them. That's the reward. Getting away from this dopamine and the scrolling and this instant gratification. You know, fall in love with the process. Trust the process. You got to know where you want to go. But then once you know that, you just reverse engineer the steps. You just complete it, you know? Like, we have a very finite amount of time on this earth. And yeah, it feels like forever sometimes, but it goes by like that, man. So whatever it is that you want in life, you just decide it. And it's done. And once it's done in your mind, then you just follow through day to day. You just decide to keep showing up. Make those sacrifices. You know, make sure your sacrifice is worthy of something. Don't pay the price just to pay it. Pay it knowing that there's a payoff. Knowing that the seeds you sow will be reaped in the not so distant future. Because that future is coming very quick. You know, people forget that. I see people all the time neglect their health. You know, they get to 60, 70, sometimes 80, no quality of life, no mobility, you know, no range of motion, no cardiovascular fitness, no ability to pick their grandkids up or to walk up the stairs or, you know, some very basic stuff. But you don't think about that. You're just enjoying your life, you know, but the future comes pretty quick. So plan for 40, plan for 50, 60, plan for 30 if you're in your 20s. You know, that's going to come pretty quick. And I'm just really realizing that now. And this is my life. This is nobody else's life. I can't blame anybody else for my past mistakes, you know, for misprioritizing things in my life. It's total, complete ownership, extreme ownership. That's Jocko Willink, great book. You know, this is it, man. This is your life. And once you get to the end, you have no one to blame other than yourself for your successes or your shortcomings. So just decide what you want. It's really that easy. Yeah, it takes some time to figure that out. You got to try some stuff and figure out, okay, this is not for me. I don't really like that. I don't thrive in this environment. And you got to make mistakes, and don't blame yourself for those. You know, you're human. By definition, you're infallible. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to slip up, have some failures. It's all good. Brush it off. It's all part of the process. But keep showing up, you know? Let the fire forge you, okay? At the end of it, you're a weapon, you know? Figuratively, literally, just keep showing up. Get comfortable in the discomfort. Take pride in it, you know? It's so funny how your perspective changes. Before you do that work, say going to the gym, for example, it's a chore. it's something that you have to carve time out of your schedule. So many people, I don't have time to lift weights. It's like, you don't have time to not lift weights. Once you get into it, once you develop the habit, you start to look forward to it. You start to see the progress, and you know the work that you're doing today is going to pay dividends. And then it starts to, then you know it's paying dividends right now. Right now. We're just so disconnected because our time horizon has shortened so much because we want things so quickly. You know, a lot of you guys younger, and you're looking at, you know, a few years in school, and you're like, oh man, I can't do that. That's too much. That's too much. But that time's gonna pass anyways, man. You want to be a doctor? If you really want it, whatever it is, man. I'm trying to become a firefighter, and I know it's going to be a long and arduous journey. It has been already. It's been 3 years. And I was very naive getting into this. I thought I was going to do my program, then it's done, then I land a job ASAP. Not the case. I'm still fighting. I'm still moving forward. I'm still striving. And it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, you know? And where am I going to be hired? That's only the question, really. When and where, but I know it's going to happen. You know, I'm built for this. I've prepared for this. I've put in the work, and I continue to do so. And creating that stack of undeniable proof. Alex Hormozy. Prove it to yourself, not to anybody else. Prove it to yourself that you deserve what you desire. And it will be so. Right? Just recently I was, you know, I used to make a lot of music. I still do. And, you know, I made a promise to my mom many years ago that if I didn't find any results or create any results in that avenue, I'd give it up. And I'm at the point now where I still enjoy it, but I'm recognizing I'm not willing to put in the work to get the outcome that I want. So Rubi, I believe, Rumi, one of the two, on Twitter, DR22, says this on Instagram, or on X, Twitter: either increase your sacrifice or decrease your desire. I love that quote. You know, you want something, you gotta, it's one of these levers that you gotta pull. It's 50-50, one or the other. Either increase your sacrifice, put in more work, put in more hours, more focus, or you gotta let go. You gotta let go and say, well, maybe that's not meant for me. You know, it's very easy. You know, you see people all the time for a delusion to develop. And there's healthy delusions, there's unhealthy delusions, but for a long time I had a delusion that I was going to make music, and that's how I was going to become, you know, financially abundant, live the life that I wanted. But I think that that's not meant for me now. You know, I don't think that's supposed to happen. For one reason or another, that was a seed that was planted in my mind at a young age that metastasized and grew. And I realize now that that was delusion. You know, I wasn't prepared to make the sacrifice to get that desire. And that's a recipe for failure. And you can only face failure so many times before you start to question, okay, how bad do I want this? You know? So if I'm not willing to increase my sacrifice, I got to decrease my desire in that particular domain. But the good side is when you let go of something, when you close a door, another one opens. You can just pivot. And I know that letting go of that desire is only going to provide more focus, more intensity, more energy for my other goals. Because I have bigger, more important goals than that right now. I have a lot of missed time to make up for. in my life. I made a lot of mistakes, and I lacked a lot of guidance. So I'm hoping to communicate that and share part of my story with you so that hopefully you can do the same. But this life thing, it's all, at the end of the day, single player. You're only responsible for yourself. But in a weird way, it's very multiplayer and you're responsible for everybody else, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, man, take very, very, very small steps to get started. Like very small. James Clear, Atomic Habits. Anytime you're trying to do something, radical change is very rare. It's usually near death or some type of religious or psychedelic experience that may induce those. But when you're trying to adopt change in your life, for the most part, you want it to look very gradual, over time. It's not going to be linear like this. It's going to be a little bit of steps over time. You're trying to start hitting the gym. Just pull up to the gym one day. You just get in your car, pack your bag, go to the gym, turn around. The next day, you just walk in, you turn around. Next day, all right, you buy your pass, you go in, you unpack your locker, you walk into the gym. It doesn't have to be 0 to 100 immediately. Usually you set yourself up for failure. And in regards to the gym, you show up, you go through a very hard workout, you're sore for a week. Yeah, you're not going back anytime soon, right? Because that sucks. The body's like, no. Everything is telling you no, not again, But if you show up, you do one set of this, one set of that, you go home, to the next day you're a little sore, but you're like, hey, that wasn't bad. I got a little pump, and you just keep showing up. That's how you win, And that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in following my passions or creativity so much. I'll have time for that down the road, but I want to win. I want to impact lives. I want to help people. That's what I'm passionate about now. And I'm telling you, man, turning 30, that's very different. Fully formed prefrontal lobe. It's know thyself. That's the biggest thing. You can only know thyself. You can only know yourself if you make mistakes and you take wrong turns in life, and you go down these roads that lead nowhere. And it's very easy to get to the end of that road and go, no way, I came all this way for nothing? Are you serious? And you just sit there and you're like, how could I do this? Like, what was I looking at? Like, what? Like, and you just get sad, you just get depressed, and you get stuck. That's the worst, man. Stagnation. That's a very easy trap to get caught in. But it's one of the worst, because it's not just, it's not just that you're not moving forward. You're moving backwards because time is going on and you're not moving ahead. So you're moving farther and farther away from time, as opposed to, okay, what's a quick plan B here I can figure out? And you just try something else. You just move on. Even if you're moving in the wrong direction, you're still moving forward. You're gaining information. You're learning. And you're growing. And I've been stuck for a long time, in many ways. And I've just observed this pattern in people who are able to let go of their past mistakes and learn from them and say, all right, well, I won't do that again. I don't know how I'm going to succeed or win, but it's not that. And you forgive yourself, man. It's that simple. It's that easy. So whatever it is, whatever the challenge is that you're facing, and there are many of them, no doubt, just let go. Just take a breath and go, all right, what are the chess pieces on the board? What's my next move? What's my next move? Not 10 moves from now, just my next move. And just take that step. Serving's really taught me that. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when this table's waiting for their waters and they get served. This table put their order in and you're at the machine, you gotta put the order in. This table wants their bill and this table wants some dessert and you gotta pick this meal up. This meal is ready for that. All these things are happening at once and you're like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I move forward? One step, man. You just do something. And you're not always gonna get it right. Yes, sometimes you're gonna let some people down, you're gonna piss some people off, but you're salvaging the best. You're triaging is what you're doing. There's a lot of parallels to firefighting and serving, but just put yourself out there, man. Whatever it is, you want to get a casual job, part-time job, you're looking for a full-time job, you want to get started in the gym, you want to get a girlfriend, you want to play a new sport, pick up a new hobby. There's a lot of resistance there, but the level of that resistance is showing you how much this means to you. And you got to let that fuel you and excite you and not make you nervous, not bear you down. Take some expectation off yourself. Give yourself some grace. It's all good, man. It's all good. We get caught in these echo chambers in this social media where we think that everybody's watching, everybody's blaming, everybody's pointing the finger and saying that's cringe or, but who cares? Seriously, who cares? This is life, man. You only get one. In 100 years, nobody will know. You'll be forgotten about. So why not just go do it? Why not take that chance, take that risk? And really, it's riskier to not take that chance, So anyways, I could ramble on forever, I think. But just know if you're going through it, man, you're not alone, I think there's a lot of us striving for better, striving for more, with so far very few results, but that's okay. We just keep moving forward because we got faith and we trust the process and we don't get discouraged. We let it fuel us to get better, to learn more, to double down, to adjust, to pivot if we need to, and take pride in who you are and who you are becoming. Really reflect and see how far you've come. That matters. Progress. It's important. So anyways, I'm hoping to make some more videos more frequently because I'm in my own place now. I got my own apartment. All right. About dang time. I'm not in a month yet. I got a bed ordered. I got a bed coming tomorrow, hopefully, but it's in a box. So it's got to, spring out and decompress or solidify or whatever. So I'm still sleeping on the floor. It's been a few weeks, but it's not too bad. But yeah, man, been really doubling down, trying to control the scrolling, get more into the reading. The reading, man, I'm telling you, it's all this is mental. If you can figure out the mental game, if you can kind of understand how your brain works, how it's rewarded, how it reinforces certain things. You're programming yourself all the time. That's what books are. That's positive programming, whatever you're reading. And it's negative programming if you're on social media for the most part. The algorithms reward, short-term gratification, clickbait, exhilarating content. And it's distorting your perception of reality in a nutshell. So, journaling, that's another one. Very key. Pen to paper too. I would journal on my laptop all the time. And it's so easy because it's so accessible and you get the thoughts out real quick. But pen to paper, man, there's something about that. It makes it cohesive. It makes it concrete. That it kind of, it asks for more. That typing, it just doesn't. I find, for me personally, anyways. I can't wait until I have a real audience who are watching these and who can like actually ask questions or like, hit me up in the DMs, in the comments, whatever, and we can actually have a dialogue. Because right now it's just me talking to myself in my kitchen as my refrigerator makes some noise, But I have so much knowledge and experience to give, and I'm so excited to give that and to, be a mentor that I didn't have. I'm starting to find those now, and I rely on those a lot, and they've been extremely helpful. And there's not a whole lot that I can give back to them other than just following the advice and the guidance and doing the actions that are going to propel me forward. And I'm already seeing progress there. So I'm just so excited about it, and I want to share it with you, So if you like that, please like it. You got any comments, you got anything to say, any questions to ask, please put it down below. I read everything and I respond to everything. So far, I'd like to say I'll do that forever, but and if you want to see some more of these, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And get comfortable in the discomfort, man. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much. Much love. Peace.